Okay, let's see if we can finish up this topic. Uh, they need to admit to you they're lonely. I mean, if they don't feel like they're lonely and they don't see it going on, you're not going to force them into that. You need to talk to them. They need to admit that they're lonely. Keep a journal. Excuse me. My wife used to have a memory like an elephant. My dad was that way. I can go hunting, go into the woods, and I can go right back to the same spot every time. I could take a trip, and once I've been there once, I could pretty well get back there. But as I got to be a teenager, I don't remember as good as I used to. I see faces, but I forget names. Keep you a journal. What are you doing? What approaches have you used? What approaches are working? What approaches are not working? Keep your journal. This will help you to be a better chaplain. Let you know what you can do. Force yourself to engage in activities, whether or not you feel like it. That makes you get a new way of thinking. You know, we all get set in our ways. And then we have to learn how to do something else. That's fine. That's good for you. Learn to get into other things so you expand your horizon. You expand your mental capacity. You learn how to do other things, that you're not just stuck in one situation. Try to figure out what social factors contribute to loneliness. That's self-explanatory. Try to figure it out. What social events might have caused this loneliness? Why did it fall back in? Build a simple and regular schedule for yourself. Determine that life is not just art unfold spontaneously. Works both ways for the chaplain and for the patient. We talk about time management, being with your family, build a simple way of doing things. These people are lonely doing things. Get them to do some tasks if they will, if you're working with them. Get them into a little bit of a routine because it gets them out of the routine of just sitting there. Maybe small things, but that's fine. Just get them doing some tasks. That will help them. Spend an hour each day planning to do something nice for other people, even though you don't know that person very well. Spend an hour a day being nice to them, doing things. There's simple ways of doing it. One was, I'm talking about this guy said he's going to his surgery for minor surgery. At the time of my first visit, I overheard the office staff talking about cookies. My wife offered to make 2 dozen cookies for me to take the day of the surgery. What an icebreaker. You know, he'd gone in, he's talked to his doctor about minor surgery, and they were talking about cookies and everything. Here he comes in with 2 dozen cookies. Something nice that he did. Didn't have to. His wife helped. Brought him in. It was an icebreaker. What can you use as an icebreaker? That's a very good question. You develop skills over the years that you do for icebreakers. What can you do? How can you get to them? That's something you need to look at. Remember that journal? Hey, this worked. This didn't. So you can go back and you can look through there and see what did work and what didn't work. Now remember, each person is different. Each individual is different. So it may not work on one person and work on the other. Trial and error. But you need to develop things that will work. Calmness, kindness, love. Listening to them. Let them talk. help them work out a situation, build them a support around them, get them the help that they need. These are things that chaplains are looked up to for doing. This is what they're expected. Remember, when you walk in and you say, hey, I'm a chaplain, they know you're a man or woman of God. So act like it. Show them respect. You may be the only glimpse of God they have for that day. So that finishes up depression and loneliness. Now we're going to start on leadership characteristics. And you say, why leadership characteristics? You may be the person that walks in as a chaplain, and you may be the person that's in leadership. You may walk into a disastrous situation. What I tell you, you're the first one there. You're in leadership. You're trying to lead these people to your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. That's why we need leadership skills. Let's look at how we can develop some leadership skills that will help us, that will enhance our journey with Jesus Christ, will enhance our journey as being a chaplain. Leadership is like gravity. You know it's there. You know it exists. But how do you define it? Let me think about that. Leadership, you know it's there. You know it exists. Somebody's got to be a leader. But how do you define it? What is a leader? Leaders can either be task-oriented or person-oriented. Mostly as a chaplain, you'll be person-oriented in your leadership. Now, you may be task-oriented. You may be working with a church, disaster relief team, and you have certain tasks that they want you to be over and do. You may be over supplies. You may be over cleaning things up. It may be a task that you're with. But most of the time as a chaplain, you're going to be people-oriented leadership. You need to learn how to lead people, how to do things. Remember what I told you about learning the fire school? That if you're leading a group of people and you go right and they go left, you better run as hard as you can, get back around to the left in front of them. That's the same with being a leader. You need to know how to lead. One of the most powerful things you can do is lead by example. If I call, let's just say, if I call chaplain, I want a chaplain. I don't want a person that's playing as a chaplain. I want a chaplain. I want to be able to know what they're going to do. Because I have a chaplain. I want a man or woman of God. I want them to come in and be non-judgmental. I want them to come in and help me, talk to me, love me, take care of my needs. That's what you need to do as a chaplain. That's how you lead by example. I don't want a chaplain coming in that, and it's just my personal preference, I don't want a chaplain coming in and see him stand over smoking a cigarette or drinking a beer. I don't want a chaplain like that. I want a chaplain that has morals and ethics, that holds up to what he believes in. I want a chaplain that if he's representing my Lord and Savior, that I see the Christian light in him. I mean, that's what people are looking for. You say, I'm not a leader. Yeah, you are. Remember I told you about when you become chaplain, people be calling you, talk to you, put you on that pedestal? When you become chaplain, when you finish this course and you take that title on for your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, yes, you are a leader. You don't know it, but you are. Great leaders are often scholars in their field and are intelligent. You should be a scholar in your field of being a chaplain. What are we talking about? Studying Bible, other courses, go through the EMA, learn how to be the best chaplain you can be. Be intelligent about it. Take your courses. Do things. People want you to come in and they want to know what you're talking about. The worst thing they want is a chaplain come in, they ask them questions, you start babbling. You start babbling all about this question. Well, yeah, I really think, well, in my opinion, I would like to talk to Brother so-and-so about it, but really, they don't want that. They want you to be a yes or no man. Yes, you know to answer that question, or no, you don't. Yes, this is what the answer is. Or no, that's a good question. I really don't know the answer to it, but I will find out for you because you need an answer to your question. I will do the best of my ability to find out. That's how they want to be. They want you to be a leader. So come in with your knowledge. If you don't know an answer, don't try to tell them you do know an answer. Don't try to make one up. We are human. We're not perfect. I mean, we're not Solomon. I pray every time the good Lord give me wisdom. I pray that he give me wisdom to do this course and do it to his glory. But we're not Solomon. We don't have the ultimate wisdom that he gained. Successful leaders are often highly driven and motivated. Have you seen your boss? Let's say you're working. Or how about a coach that coached you? Did they not be highly motivated about their job? I mean, if they wasn't, you probably didn't have a pretty good record if you were in sports. Or your boss is not motivated about their job, then he's not going to put his best foot forward for y'all to have a better working conditions or things that go on. Like I said, excuse me. Talk about motivation. What did God think about motivation, being highly motivated? Go to the book of Revelation. Go read about the church at Laodicea. You're neither hot nor cold, so therefore I'll spew you out of my mouth. They didn't have the motivation. They really didn't want to strive to be like Christ in that church. Do you have the motivation as a chaplain? People will know right off the bat. They'll see your face. They'll see your expressions. They'll know the way you talk, the way you walk, if you're a motivated chaplain or not. So if you're not motivated to do this, then don't do it. But if you do it each day, you're doing it for your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. There's nothing anymore that motivates me more than knowing that I can do something for Jesus Christ. Because look what he did for me. Look what he did for you. So be motivated. Great leadership encompasses confidence, assertiveness, and mutual respect. A great leader has confidence. They believe that they can get the task done. They believe they know how to get things done. They have confidence in themselves, in their abilities, in their training, and what they do. Assertiveness. Sometimes you have to be assertive to be a leader. Mutual respect. You can be a leader and disagree with people and still have mutual respect. So y'all go take a break and we'll stop right here and then we will finish this up in a few minutes.